Fisher tonight, hopefully get in that 6th, 7th inning.
All right, Dodgers trying to start off this 3-game series against the Nationals with a victory tonight. Let's send it out to Washington, D.C. Joe Davis and Eric Karros have the call from our nation's capital. Take it away, guys.
All right, John, the road trip continues from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. at Nationals Park, a 3-game series against the Washington Nationals, and starting this series with less than ideal conditions, 47 degrees. It's windy. It's been rainy today, and there's a light chance of rain as this game goes on. Should be all right, but put it all together, not the greatest baseball weather as we get you ready for this game. Joe Davis, Eric Karros. Kirsten Watson joins us in a moment. They lose 2 of 3 in Philadelphia, turn their attention here to a young Nationals team.
And you have to be careful. You don't want to leave all the excitement and intensity in Philadelphia because this national team will get you. They are young, and they've got an excellent starter in today's game.
Couple good starters. For the Dodgers, it's going to be Dustin May, who's first started nearly 2 years, 5 innings, just 1 hit and 1 unearned run.
Yeah, he was excellent. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. The swing and miss is probably what surprised me the most. He was dominant with that sweeper, the fastball. The sinker had more movement as well. He is not going to be a fun at-bat in these conditions this evening. On the flip side, Mackenzie Gore. Now, this game against the Phillies, he had 13 strikeouts, did not walk a hitter. Now, he was throwing with some shadows. Now, the next start was in Toronto. Wasn't as good, but still very productive indoors. He's looking at things, but he is the type of guy that can give the Dodgers fits.
Busy day, big day here in the nation's capital for the Dodgers, huh, Kirsten?
Yeah, Joe, another big day just because they got to have another time celebrating the 2024 season, and this time it was at the White House being recognized by the president. Clayton Kershaw spoke on behalf of the team, talking about the selflessness of that 2024 team and highlighting special moments from the World Series. So they got to actually go inside the Oval Office. Everyone talked about just how special it was being there, and they're hoping to return next year because that means they've won another World Series championship, guys.
All right, Kirsten, on so many occasions to celebrate last year's title. Now they turn attention to today's game, the Dodgers and Nationals, the first in a 3-game series coming up on Sportsnet LA.
Touches of black. They say a lot without having to say much.
Phillies for you on Monday against the Braves. Tyler Glasnow, his season debut, Jerry. 8 strikeouts, went 5 innings, did not allow a run.
Yeah, he was outstanding against the Braves. Really had everything working. Outstanding fastball, topped out at 98 miles an hour. That breaking ball as well, you see it right there. 12-6 hammer, absolutely filthy.
At number 4, Tuesday against the Braves, Adrian Mookie Betts against his former Red Sox teammate Chris Sale gave the Dodgers the lead.
Yeah, stayed behind that slider really well, stayed inside of it, and just a great swing that we were used to seeing out of Mookie there. Just follow through, is able to come up clutch, come up with a big knock like he always does. Love to see him healthy out there.
Part of a Dodgers sweep. At number 3, Teoscar. We saw what he did with the bats this week, Jerry. How about with the defense as well, making an over-the-wall catch to begin this one?
You know, finding the wall right there, that short wall, bracing himself for that little mini crash. Great concentration as he goes over the wall, makes the play. Outstanding job doing that. We see the arm here. He got first and third, 1 out. Pivotal moment in the game. Stott breaks for second base, trying to steal the base. Line drive right to Teoscar Hernandez. Look at the flamethrower right there. He threw it so hard, you saw that flame come off that baseball. One more look at it. Stott going at second. JT Realmuto at third base, tagging up. He has to get the home before Stott gets doubled up at first base. It does not happen. Because of that, double play, the run does not count. Outstanding job, Teoscar Hernandez.
Helping the Dodgers to a win in the middle game of the series, and Roki loving that. At number 2, Tuesday against the Braves, we saw the return of Dustin May, his first start in 685 days, and we even had to dust off the filthy meter for this one, Adrian, because he struck out 6 in 5 innings, allowed just 1 hit.
He sure did. I mean, his pitches, his outing, love the way he was able to control his emotions. We know he was emotional out there, but I love the way he was able to control them and then just come out and do the things that he did. You know, the filthy meter was lights out. That ball was moving all over the place. I love that comeback sinker right there. That's impossible to hit. And you can see another fastball that looks like it's rising up in the zone.
Number 1, Shohei on his MVP bobblehead night did this.
Fly ball to center field. Harris is back. Oh, Tony! Inevitable!
He is inevitable, Jerry, especially in big moments like that.
That's not a bad pitch. First pitch, Cambiod, really out of third, may have been off the plate. Great job of keeping his hands back. Of course, walk off, Shohei Ohtani.
All right, we're getting closer to first pitch in Washington, D.C. Kike Hernandez only has 3 hits on the season. All of them are home runs. He's getting the start at first base today as we head toward first pitch at Nationals Park. Dustin May in the bullpen getting ready for his second start of the season. Tough matchup for the Dodgers hitters as well in this one, Adrian, because they're going up against the Nationals ace left-hander Mackenzie Gore. Had those 13 strikeouts against the Phillies on opening day. The Dodgers have seen him each of the last 3 seasons. How can they get to him today?
Well, I mean, you know, this is a young kid that has electric stuff. He's got a really, really good fastball. He's got three other pitches that he mixes in there: his slider, curveball, and changeup. And you know, he can attack you with a very, very good fastball up in the zone, and then he drops the slider, curveball, changeup behind that. He's a guy that you just got to get on top, put your foot down, get on top, stay inside the baseball, and look for singles. You can't try to get big. You will run into home runs when he hangs that slider, but you know, you just got to put the ball in play.
He's got the herky-jerky delivery. I'm not spotting him anything. Be aggressive in the strike zone.
Last couple of years, Teo's taking him deep. Kike and Max Muncy as well. There's Mookie Betts, and the Dodgers about to lead things off against Mackenzie Gore right after this.
Seems like everyone's going country these days. Let me show you how it's done. Yep, that Nashville hot.
Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. There's so much free food in the new Jack app, your wallet's gonna miss you. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. First in a 3-game series between the Dodgers and the Nationals here at Nationals Park, where a year ago Shohei Ohtani had the longest of his 54 home runs, 118 miles per hour. Should say it was his hardest hit, 118 miles per hour, and it traveled 450 feet. One of his 54 last year, and he's set to lead things off for Dave Roberts today with this lineup brought to you by your Southern California helpful Honda dealers. Ohtani happy to have the scene shift away from Philadelphia, where he went just 1 of 11 this weekend. He's never hit particularly well at Citizens Bank Park. Comes to a park where he has. Mookie Betts at shortstop hitting second. Then it's Tommy Edman in center field. Teoscar Hernandez coming off a big game yesterday in right field hitting cleanup, followed by Will Smith leading the National League in on-base percentage. Kike Hernandez at first hitting 6th, and then at the bottom of Dave Roberts' order, Max Muncy. Miguel Rojas gets a start, and Chris Taylor gets just his 2nd of the year. On the mound for the Nationals, 26-year-old Mackenzie Gore, who at one point was the top pitching prospect in baseball as he came up through the San Diego Padres system, made his debut at the Padres, and then was one of the many pieces in that Juan Soto trade. One of the key pieces. So he comes over here to Washington, now in his 3rd year with the Nationals, and they at this point, EK, are looking to him to be the ace.
Yeah, and he stepped up. He's given them every reason for them to believe that he will be that ace. You saw what he did in that first start against the Philadelphia Phillies. A very potent lineup. 13 strikeouts, sheer dominance. Wasn't as good against Toronto. Again, just a little different environment, pitching indoors, and he still is as good as there is when he's on Loves that four-seamer, likes to throw that up in the zone. That's where he's most effective. The curveball, the slider. Slider is more towards for the left-handed hitters, curveball for the right-handed hitters. But if he has those going, you couple that with that fastball up in the zone, and he's really awfully tough to defend as a hitter.
These Nationals are a young team, hoping for the future in the middle of their rebuild, but a lot of the guys they've been talking about coming up have arrived for this 2025 team. Ohtani stands in, Gore comes home, off we go. Ball one, backs him off of the plate. Nationals started this season 1-6, but 1-2 over the weekend against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and yesterday beat Corbin Burns to win that series. A smash on the ground that's speared by Garcia, but then it pops out of his glove, and Ohtani's got an infield hit. And when I say it pops out of his glove, it might have poked a hole in it.
Yeah, I was just going to say he might have broke his glove, right? 113 off the bat. It's exactly what you want as a fielder. Something coming off that hard in this weather, smoking you right in the palm of the hand. Actually, there's a short hop right there.
You were saying during the pregame show, as a hitter, you're like, oh boy, this wouldn't be a bad day for Skip to say, hey, why don't you take the day? This weather, these pitchers, a ball on Betts. Now, Betts has faced Gore 6 times. He's reached in 5 of those plate appearances. That includes a couple doubles. And he comes into this matchup hot. Back-to-back multi-hit games against the Phillies. Coldest game of the year, 47 degrees first pitch temperature. But Mookie, as we know, well prepared for playing in the cold in his days in Boston. I asked him before the game, coldest game he ever played in, and he said right away 2018 World Series, that game in Boston against the Dodgers. But then he corrected himself and he said, well, actually, I was well prepared for that because of AA Portland, some of the games we played there. This is a bouncing ball to short for DeYoung, to second for 1, Garcia to first, and they turn 2. Said it was a low bar that he set for himself those days. It was just don't hurt your hands. So cold tonight, but it ain't Portland.
I mean, it really is. As a hitter tonight, I think I'd rather be facing Gore than May, just because May is that sinker sweeper guy and the ball just feels heavy as a hitter.
National League home run leader Tommy Edman.
That is such a great intro.
I'm going to say it every time while it's alive. Well, you got it. Gore brings him in 0-1. In there was strike 2. 5 home runs, 9 knocked in for Tommy Edman, hitting the ball way harder than he has previously. His hard hit rate 55%, just to give you some context. For his career, it's right at the league average, which is 36%. So still a small sample size, 11 games into this season, but as hard as he's ever hit it consistently. Down quickly here as Gore finishes him off with a changeup and gets him on 3 pitches. On 8 pitches, faces the minimum. One tough pitcher has made his appearance. Here comes another. Dustin May's second start coming back. Lineup for the Nationals presented by your Southern California helpful Honda dealers. James Wood, their top prospect, leads off, and then Alex Call in right field with Luis Garcia hitting third at second base. Former Dodger Keibert Ruiz, the cleanup man. Nathaniel Lowe just acquired this offseason. Then Josh Bell back with the Nationals. DeYoung, Tena, and Dylan Cruz, second pick of the draft a couple years ago. Dustin May, first game in almost 2 years on Tuesday against Atlanta. Just one hit, one unearned run over 5 innings. And he gets ready for his second start. 6'7" James Wood stands in. May comes home and misses downstairs. So the velocity down a little bit, but the Dodgers are actually happy about that because they see him nice and easy, not trying to overpower everybody, really, and it's cliche, but pitching. Lets it work. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you see the young man when he's pitching, this is what he's doing. That sweeper, an awful lot of use against the Braves the other day. You saw why. I mean, they didn't touch it.
They're the most that he had ever thrown it. Threw it 29 times. Braves went 0 for 6 against it. And what was a very special day for him, that he had a different feeling on the mound than he'd ever had. Told his wife Millie morning of the game, look, this is going to be special. Even if I give up 10 runs, this is going to be a special day. And so the fact that it went as well as it did was a bonus. So it was just such a relief to get out there, and on top of getting back, realize I could still do it against major league hitters. Fires a 2-2 to Wood.
Yeah, I think just the journey back and being out on the mound, that was the accomplishment. And then you add the success onto what he was able to do. It just made for a special evening.
Working against James Wood here, leading things off for the Nationals. C.J. Abrams getting the day off. And that's ball 4. Is there a pitch clock violation in there, or have I quickly lost count?
No, I was the same way. I was scorekeeping here, and there must have been a pitch clock violation, because I had 3 balls in my scorebook that I'm doing by hand, and you don't ever question that. That's just like that's almost right up there with Rick computer-like stuff.
All right, I wasn't
questioning.
we had the same thing, buddy. Strike on Alex Call. Same thing as, and I had ball 3 on there too.
Yeah, I had ball 3. All right, well, whatever. Down at first, 3 balls maybe this game.
That's it. Playing by different rules. Call 6 out of 11 so far this year. As Wood runs, Smith throws, and a stolen base for James Wood. We talk about this being a young Nationals team. This right here, the brightest hope they have. Kind of some light at the end of that rebuilding tunnel for them as he comes up last season, debuts in the second half, and impressed with his power, but also with his speed. He's 6'7", 235, but can really run.
Yeah, super athletic.
Oh, 2 to Call. We think bouncing ball down to third. Muncie's got it, and there's the first out. You know, the Dodgers have been a good late inning team. The Nationals have been the other way around. A lot of their offense has come in the early innings of games. 1 away in this first inning, and here's Luis Garcia. Another testament to where these Nationals are at in this rebuild. He's 24, and he's the longest tenured player on the team. He's in his 6th year. Part of that is he came up so early. He just turned 20 when he debuted as the youngest guy in the major leagues, and for a couple years it was, man, there's potential there, but just couldn't quite keep his focus consistently. Well, last year he put it all together. He had 282, 18 home runs, much better defense at second base. He takes that sweeper for a strike, 1-1.
They got some young ones up the middle with Garcia at second. You have Abrams, who's the normal shortstop, out tonight with a little thigh tightness. There he is.
5 everyday players, 25 or younger. Biggest free agent deal they handed out this offseason, 2 years, $14 million to Trevor Williams. They're just not quite there where they're ready to say, okay, we got our guys all settled in. We got our core. Let's go spend. A year or two away from that. 1-2 from Dustin May. Garcia slaps it in the air to left field for Chris Taylor. 2 out. If May and the Dodgers get 7 Ks in this game, everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack. LA area restaurants. I've got some good news for Jack fans. The Nationals have the highest strikeout rate in the National League. Up to Keibert Ruiz with 2 away. Debuted with the Los Angeles Dodgers and then was a key piece coming back here to the Nationals in the Max Scherzer and Trey Turner deal. When we talk about the Nationals starting to lay the groundwork for the next era, this was the first guy they said he's going to be part of that foundation. But in the 2 years since they gave him an 8-year contract, he's been one of the worst players in the league. Defense, especially 2 years ago. Last year the defense got better, but his OPS was the worst in the league. So you get that long-term deal, you get the security, but you also get the hype and the pressure that comes with it. On this 2-0 from May, Ruiz takes ball 3.
I think one of the things when you give a multi-year deal to the player, obviously you're looking at the talent, but you've really got to be spot on with the character evaluation and make sure that that player will continue to work and have the drive. And I think Ruiz is going to be fine. I think it was a good move. They got him at a good player. I mean, I'm sorry, a good organization market deal. It's one of those ones where you dangle it out there, you give the longevity, and the player, you just kind of have to take it sometimes. Get it a bit of discount.
Nationals are pleased with the way he's playing so far. 321 over the first couple weeks of this season, and a player that is almost impossible to walk. The lowest walk rate in baseball last year, has one here against May. It's the second free pass of this first inning. And it gets one of the old guys to the plate, relatively speaking, on this Nationals team. 29-year-old Nathaniel Lowe. Got him in a trade from Texas this offseason for a couple reasons. That experience and also his pop. They were last in the league in home runs last year, and this is a guy that has a 27 home run season on his line. 2 on, 2 out in the first. Pulls one to first. It's stabbed by Hernandez, and May's able to strand a pair behind him. Teoscar Hernandez, what a day he had yesterday, knocking in 5 of the Dodgers' 7 runs with a pair of home runs. Also had a sacrifice fly and an RBI double. Dodgers fell a little bit short, 8-7 to the Phillies. And it's Hernandez to lead off this second against Mackenzie Gore. Goes after the first pitch, sends a fly ball to right center field. Here comes Alex Call, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Gore. From Hernandez to Will Smith, who comes in leading the National League with a .583 on base percentage.
Yeah, getting off to a quick start is not anything new for Will, but even this start is a little out of character. You see that .423 average. You mentioned that on base percentage. Just start him down at first base and save the time at the plate.
Nature of the beast at catcher. Tough to sustain hot starts, and then he's had some blunt force injuries the last couple of years that have kind of exacerbated the whole thing. There was the rib injury 2 years ago. There was the ankle last year. Even if you are quote unquote healthy, you're going to wear down as a catcher as the year goes on.
Yeah, that's why Dodger fans will remember it back in the 90s. You know, Mike Piazza, what he did was just so remarkable. I mean, not only was he good offensively, he was elite offensively, all the while catching 140 games.
Yeah, because this is the standard, right? Like Mike doing that, that's impossible.
Right.
Will does this, fades in the second half, and you're like, oh man, what happened? But he's still always right at the top of the catcher leaderboard.
Right.
Count evens 2-2 on him. 2 out of 4 yesterday. Came through again with a big spot. He's 5 for 7 this year with runners in scoring position, which has always been part of his identity. Just inside, and the count goes full. Mackenzie Gore getting the first 4 outs of this game on 9 pitches. Somebody who is streaky. He's a streaky version of a pitcher, and that streakiness a lot of times has to do with the command. Strikes out Smith here, his second.
Gore went right back to that curveball. He just missed the prior pitch, and this one goes out of the zone, but really that's his put-away pitch against the right-handed hitters. Show him that high fastball, get the sights up there, and then bam, here comes that curveball.
Put that streakiness together from last year where he was really good early, really bad in the middle, and then a good finish, and you get almost exactly league average as he misses with his first pitch to Kike Hernandez. ERA plus 100 is league average. Anything above that represents how far better than average they are. Anything below that, vice versa. His ERA plus was 102. And I make that point because they need him to be a lot higher than 102 as the ace.
Well, it's like you said, though, you know, he went through that stretch in the middle that he was probably an 80 or something. When he is good, he is
150.
Yeah, right.
Which, just to further give you context on that, would mean 50% better than league average. That's the way he finished last year. Here he comes with the 2-1. Hernandez pokes it foul. Kike still sitting on 3 hits, all of them home runs, 3 out of 29. 3 home runs on this young season, all of which has been spent as the Dodger first baseman for him in Freddie Freeman's absence. Chases a breaking pitch in the dirt, and Gore has 3 Ks over a couple impressive innings.
Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand. Plus, stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Josh Bell starts this second for the Nationals. May fires. And right down the pipe with the fastball. Pitched around a couple walks in that first inning to put up a 0. And now faces 6, 7, and 8 in this Nats order. Bell is 4 for 30 to open the year. Takes outside. The count evens 1-1. So kind of a new version of Dustin May after a couple years away. Talk about how he's not going max effort on every pitch. Stuff's moving better as a result. And the other little difference as he gets squeezed on that one is that his arm slot is lower than before. There wasn't a conscious thing, I'm going to do this. It's just what coming back felt most comfortable to him. And it's also part of the reason the stuff is moving so well. Minute, like you wouldn't totally see it unless you were looking for it, but enough where it's made some change to the way his pitches are profiling.
Well, and you know, you say just a little bit minute. That's the difference, you know, hitting it on the bat. You know, you hit it just a centimeter somewhere other than where the sweet spot is, you'd be in a little trouble.
It's a leadoff walk, already the third that he's issued.
So we talked about the efficiency and you know, the ability to locate and with the lesser velocity. And you know, right now you've got that lesser velocity and you're also not able to locate. And that leads to, you know, that can lead to some issues. And I think the weather is playing a role in that.
DeYoung with a base hit into center field. That's in business again. 2 on, nobody out.
We talked about it not being ideal environment to hit in. Pitching as well, just with the way to be able to spin the ball, the way to be able to grip the ball in this type of weather. It's more slippery and not able to control it as much.
Not too many cold days down in Texas where he grew up. So walk for Bell, a single for DeYoung, and now Jose Tena. Squared around a bunt and stabbed through it. This is only Tena's second start of the year. Got him last summer from Cleveland. Corner's pinched in. He'll try to bunt again. This time lays it down in front of the plate. Smith to third to get the lead man. Had to be perfect. It was a bang play and it was just in time.
An aggressive play early in the game by Will Smith, but this play was made in his head prior to it happening. He knows who's out at second base. That's Josh Bell, not a very fleet-of-foot runner. So when that ball is just placed out on the dirt in front of home plate, he already knows where his options are. No hesitation at all, fires it to Muntz. Nice play.
So still first and second, now 1 away, and the 9-hitter, the rookie Dylan Cruz. 2 years ago, first pick of the draft was LSU ace Paul Skeens to the Pittsburgh Pirates. The second pick of the draft was LSU's star center fielder Dylan Cruz. Made it to the majors 1 year later. End of last season. Yeah, just 23 years old. Up the middle he goes, and it's under Betts into left center field. Throw goes to third. It is in time, and another out made at third base by the Nationals. But they get the game's first run. So Tena's out at third, but DeYoung scores 1-0 Washington.
This ball hit to short. Not an easy play, but a play that Mookie probably would tell you he could have made. Ball just sneaks under his glove.
It is ruled a base hit. Remember, the lone run that scored against May in his first start was unearned because of a Betts error. Back to the top of the order, James Wood walked his first time, and we did go back and see, by the way, there was a pitch clock violation ball before Dustin May threw his first pitch of the day. So that at bat had started 1-0. Ball and a strike this time. Edwin Moscoso, the home plate umpire. I guess took too long to finish his warm-up pitches, or
yeah, it must have been the case. Not ready to throw.
How about that to start your day? So 2 balls and a strike on Wood. Back-to-back guys right here. They're 2 biggest young hitters, biggest young prospects. There goes Cruz from second, and it's slapped foul. Wood came over in the same deal that got him Mackenzie Gore, the Juan Soto trade. An 8-player deal, and at the time, it's hard to see what the Nationals are seeing. How could you ever consider trading Juan Soto? But now you look and see as these guys materialize, and you can put faces and skills to the names, like Gore, like Wood. C.J. Abrams came in that deal. Grounded to second, kicked by Rojas. Here comes Cruz. Betts throwing home, and he avoids the tag. Dodger defense letting him down. 2-0 Washington.
Uncharacteristic, just doesn't stick in the glove. Once it does that, Miggy kicks it. Mookie does a nice job of getting over there, but Cruz hustling all the way. You see Miggy yelling home, home, home. Just not a great throw.
Aaron Rojas. 2 in the bank, and a ball on Alex Call. Grounded to short his first time. Has his average down to 500 for the year. 6 for 12 for the former Ball State star. Really good bat to ball guy. Only 1 swing and miss this year for Call. Mays ahead of him 1-2. It's down to 93. It's 97-98. The old Dustin May before the injuries. He's had a 95 the other day. Here he comes to the 1-2 pitch. Call sends it in the air to right field. Routine for Teoscar Hernandez. Anything but routine the way this inning went, though, with the defense letting May down. 2-run score, 2-0 after 2. World champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Introducing Carl's Jr.'s new triple burgers. Next time, tell them to triple it. Mackenzie Gore has needed just 20 pitches to put up a couple scoreless innings. Bottom of the Dodger lineup, Max Muncy. Watches that curveball bend in there for a strike, and he has loved that pitch so far, hadn't he?
Curveball has been outstanding, and he's thrown that to both sides of the plate. I mean, he usually goes after the left-handed hitters with the slider. That curveball has been the put-away pitch for the right-handed hitters. In fact, he's got 3 strikeouts this evening. All 3 on the curveball, all 3 swinging.
Slider's the one that had the better numbers coming in. Very lefty-heavy Phillies lineup on opening day, where he had those 13 Ks you were talking about. Popped out of his hand there. Count evens 2-2 on Muncy. And a rough start for Max, and the roughest half of that has been his at-bats against lefties, just 1 for 13. 2-2 from Gore. Ripped to right field. On comes Call. Lays out and makes the grab. Making an impression, Alex Call. Hardly played the first few days of the season. Has done nothing but perform since getting a chance.
Max does a nice job of staying on that pitch. The curveball. Call hustling in there, and I mean, this is completely laying out. A heck of an effort by the young man.
See it on our Allstate Good Hands replay. 1 gone in this 3rd inning for Miguel Rojas. Committed an error in the bottom of the 2nd. Dodgers played errorless baseball over the first 6 games this year. They've committed 6 the last 6. And if there is one area that consistently has not been sharp this year, that would be it. 9 unearned runs, most in the majors. They have out-homered some of those problems. Pitchers have made a lot of good pitches with runners on base. They're one of the best staffs in baseball with runners in scoring position to help cover it all up. Fly to right field, much easier for Call this time. Something about it when you're not playing good defense, though, even if you're covering it up, it never feels good.
No, it doesn't, and it just makes things. Things just don't look crisp. It doesn't look good. I guess sloppy would be the best way to describe it.
Another chance here for Chris Taylor, his 2nd start of the season. First one came against Chris Sale, and this one comes against Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah, have at it, CT.
Gore's 1-0. Taylor takes down the middle for a strike. Gore out of Whiteville, North Carolina. Town of about 5,000 people, known for its high school baseball team. It's once called Baseball Town, USA. They've had such success in that small town. Muscled up the middle, and a base hit for Taylor. First one of the season for Chris Taylor.
He gets to do that little Ohtani move. Good for CT again, as you mentioned. Only his 2nd start of the year, and one of those is against Chris Sale, and the other one is 45 degrees against Mackenzie Gore. Go get him.
He's on. The inning continues for Ohtani, who blistered a ball his first time. And got an infield single. Ruiz keeps this one close. To finish off that thought about Whiteville, North Carolina, Baseball Town, USA, Mackenzie shows up in high school, makes the team as a freshman. All the pressure to be the next great team, the next great player there, and he wins 3 state championships in 4 years. Continues the legacy of Baseball Town, USA. Doesn't get the call there, though, against the best player in the world. who's probably never heard of Whiteville. 2-0 to Ohtani. Is hit hard to deep right field. Calls going back at the wall. It's tied. 2 outs, 2 runs. Ohtani with a shot to lock it at 2.
Where is Whiteville?
Never heard of it.
Doing much the same as he did in his last time through Washington. This ball didn't even feel like he got it. It almost looked like it was off the end of the bat. Came off at 102 miles an hour. Pedestrian home run for Shohei, only 380 feet.
Number 4 of the year for Ohtani. Back to square one here.
You know, you were just mentioning about how, you know, things can mask the defense. And you were talking about the home runs, and you hit it right on the head. Good producing.
Give credit to Mike Levy. Dodgers now out homering their opponents 24-5. (3-0) on bets. Trying to go to 10-2 today. This road trip through the National League East shifts from Philly to D.C. 3 games between these clubs. The Dodgers back home for the Chicago Cubs on Friday. Gore to Betts 3-1. And he's walked him. So the Dodgers just 1 base runner the first 8 hitters that came up. That's 3 in a row with 2 out here. And now word from Morongo.
Good Times Pizza Company is open for deliciousness. Morongo.
Tommy Edman.
I was going to say, I think it illustrates too the importance of that number 9 spot. You know, CT getting on base, turning things over. Ohtani hitting with pitcher in the stretch. And it just, you know, hasn't been the case. Ohtani taking full advantage of it.
Bottom 3 in the Dodger order, 139 average so far this year, with the 3rd lowest OPS in baseball.
I mean, that was a story last year for quite a while, right? And it obviously, look, you got to get everybody producing, but it's so important because you've got Ohtani and Betts at the top of the lineup. They can get any kind of production down low. It just changes the entirety of this offense.
On 2-0, Edman takes a healthy rip. Comes up empty.
And let's not forget as well, we've seen 2 games this year where we've had Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts in the lineup together.
They're yet to be full strength.
I mean, we're missing one of the, I argue, the top 5 hitters in all of baseball in Freddie Freeman. Still only 2 losses this year.
Two coming home to Edman. Misses. Just to further your point about the bottom of the order, trying to set the table a little better. That was Ohtani's 4th home run. Those are RBIs 4 and 5. There's not been anybody on for him. There goes Betts, a payoff pitch, loops to the back door to get Edman looking. Dodgers have tied it. Shohei Ohtani happy to be out of Philly after a 1-for-11 weekend with too many strikeouts. 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, a home run, sponsored by Decorte. Dustin May can take a deep breath, given some new life here. Tied at 2 after the Ohtani home run. 3-hitter Luis Garcia leads off. Strike 1 from May. Nationals getting 2 runs last inning, taking advantage of some shoddy defense. 2 hits, 3 walks issued by May. Garcia, who flied to left his first time. Grounds this one off May. Ricochets past Betts into center. Leadoff man's been on all 3 innings. Let's check in with Kirsten Watson.
Joe, all the talk right now has been about the celebration, the new one from this ad from Decorte that Shohei Ohtani took part in. But the best part about this is that Shohei actually started this. So the first time the celebration came out was when he hit the home run. But Joe, I'm actually going to send it back to you because I do see Thomas Albert going out to the field to check on Dustin May. So I'm going to have you take this over real quick, just in case.
Okay, appreciate it, Kirsten. Someone out there to make sure May was okay after that ball was hit back and ricocheted off him. It looks like he's okay. Kirsten, do you have more on that?
Yes, so Shohei Ohtani was the one who actually started it. Many of the guys weren't exactly sure where it came from. They saw the commercial, they saw the wink. That's the part that's been missing. But I told them the camera does get close enough. So if you want to give us the wink, we'd love to see it as well, guys.
I think the wink is what really does it. Ruiz, check over to first on Garcia. It's useful to think about, kind of use this as a chance to think about how far Ohtani's come in terms of settling into his new team and comfort with his teammates compared to where it was a little more than a year ago when he first got here. There wasn't any winking going on, winking and Decorte ads on home runs.
Look, the reality is there was a wall there. There was a wall. And we all know what that wall was.
There goes Garcia. Smith throws down. Off Betts' glove. Stolen base for Garcia.
Second stolen base this evening by the Nats. Getting a good jump off of May. And that's one of the things as a young team, an athletic team, they don't have C.J. Abrams in there tonight, but they're going to force the issue.
Nationals led the majors in stolen bases last year. 1-2 on Keibert Ruiz. Bounce past the mound. Betts it short. Palm of his glove. Over to first. Nothing's easy tonight.
Well, I think we've seen a few, and I do believe it's weather related. The cold. We saw Garcia, that ball that Ohtani scorched, kind of bounced out of his glove, bounced out of Rojas's glove. That one wasn't clean, but Mookie doing a good job of corralling it.
I mean, it's not like it's 20.
It's still cold. That's you know what? You know how, like, for me, that's like the guy that says that just got hit by a pitch and it goes, oh, it was only a curveball. It still hurts and it's still cold. And it's just, again, when you get in the palm of the ball, the palm of the glove too, I don't care if it's 30, 40, 50, it hurts.
Infield is in here. Sorry about that. Low at the plate. He's got a base hit to bring home Garcia. So the Nationals retake the lead very quickly.
One of the things kind of crazy, you look at May's last start and he had 11 swing and misses. So far this evening, 46 pitches, not one swing and miss. It's cold. That's probably why.
Josh Bell. Look out. Ricochets right to Smith. He throws down into center field. Those not going anywhere.
The lack of crispness outside of the weather continues. just defensively just not looking great at all. It's kind of like the game against the Braves, though, right? You know, it didn't look good, and it was kind of a tale of 2 games, down 5-0, and hopefully we got a little of that coming.
Dave Roberts said after that one he was dumbfounded the way they were playing, and then he was dumbfounded the way they came back. Finds it there, finds the strike zone, 2-1 on Bell. Seems like not too long ago, Bell was the next big thing coming up with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Spent 5 years in Pittsburgh. He's been with 5 different teams in the 5 years since then. Pokes one to the left, right at Chris Taylor. 2 away. Similar story for this guy here in Paul DeJong, who had 7 years in St. Louis with the Cardinals and was runner-up to Cody Bellinger for National League Rookie of the Year in 2017. That wasn't it. A couple years later, he hit 30 home runs. He was an all-star, but has gone on a dizzying tour of the big leagues really in the years since then. From the Cardinals to the Blue Jays to the Giants to the White Sox to the Royals, finally to the Nationals on a 1-year deal. 31 years of age, 9 years in the big leagues for DeJong. Really aggressive hitter. Hits one hard down the line towards the pole, but foul. Another one of those guys they went out and got to bring in some experience and bring in some pop. Paul hit 24 home runs last year between Chicago and Kansas City. Back to a bigger leg kick that he had earlier in his career when he had that 30 home run campaign in St. Louis. See that big leg kick there. Watches it miss inside.
Yeah, his first 3 years in the league, 74 home runs, 25-19, and then, as you mentioned, had that 30 home run season.
On a 2-1 from May. DeJong pops it into right. Backpedaling Hernandez. Now will steady and put it away. But the Nationals take the lead back. A couple base hits here. 3-2 after 3.
Celebrate Korean Heritage Night April 16th. Purchase a special ticket pack for an exclusive Heritage Night jersey presented by Jinro. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Dodgers down a run to the 4th inning, and Teoscar Hernandez to lead off against Mackenzie Gore. Started him with a changeup, missed away. Gore with 4 strikeouts so far.
Yeah, and you see what he's been doing it with, putting guys away with that curveball. Those are the red ones right there. He's also had that curveball induced a ground out. Fastball up in the zone, the 4-seamer. But on those curveballs, he's had 3 swing and miss strikeouts and then 1 looking strikeout.
Hernandez has homered against him before. Gave the Dodgers a hard time last year. 6 innings, just 1 run. That lone run came on Teoscar Solo's shot. And he hit it off a changeup, which again was the pitch that Gore chose to begin this at bat. The 1-2 is in the dirt. Is another change. Count evens up. This is that home run last year. One of the 33 Teoscar hit. Career high, first year in LA. Leading off this 4th. And driving a ball deep down the right field line, but slicing to the seats. Teoscar likes hitting in this ballpark. 7 home runs his last 9 games here. Full count. Will Smith, Kike Hernandez to follow. Dodgers trying to win on the day where they celebrated last year's championship at the White House. Tradition that began in the 1860s. Broken bat flare, center field, base hit to open the inning. 1865, President Andrew Johnson invited champions of the first amateur league, the Brooklyn Atlantics. And then the first time a big league team came, 1924, the Washington Senators were invited. That thing got destroyed. Hernandez on and Smith up. Top of the zone for a strike. Fastball, then curve, no swing, 1-1. That fastball, you've touched on a little bit. He threw more than any pitcher in baseball last year. In an era where guys are going away from throwing the 4-seam, he was the rare starter that threw it more than half of the time. Throws it again there to get ahead.
I think he needs to throw it, though, not so much as an out pitch, but as something to set up that slider and that curveball. You just have to keep guys honest.
Uses it to get Smith. First strikeout on something other than the curve.
And I think that's where he played with Smith there. Just that his previous at bat, he put him away with that curveball. So if you're Will, you're thinking, all right, that curveball's coming again. He's going to try and do it to me, and dots it at the top of the zone.
So he gets a strikeout on the fastball there. All 4 hits for the Dodgers have come against that pitch, though. First pitch curve to Hernandez, missed. Strikeout victim on a curveball his first time. He's homered against Gore. Gore was the 3rd pick of the draft, 2017, out of North Carolina. Of course, of the Padres, and made it to the majors with San Diego, but then the trade happened after that. Eight-player deal. 6 of them coming this way, 2 of them going the other way. You got 3 of them on this roster currently playing significant roles. There's another couple guys that they feel like are surefire big leaguers who are close. You trade a player like that, you better nail it.
Well, and also another player that was involved in that trade is here too.
Josh Bell.
Josh Bell, yeah.
Who said it the other way.
He was going the other way.
And finally, teammates with the guys that he was ships in the night with. Chase and 2-2. Tough decisions to make when you're Mike Rizzo and you're the front office. And they had offered Juan Soto the same length deal that he wound up signing with the Mets, 14 years, now about half the money.
We'll give you the same years, but a little less.
Bear with me. They had offered that when he was here. And when he turned that down, they said, okay, we got to get what we can for you. And they got several bricks to the foundation of what they hope is the next good era of Nationals baseball. Hernandez down on strikes. The Nationals won the World Series in 2019 with Soto, but they've been the bottom of the division every year since, averaging 32 games out of first place.
I mean, not the way you want to do it, but when you rebuild, you've got to be a 60-win team, because if you're a 60-win team, that means you're playing your young guys, you're trying to get them at bats, get them innings, develop them. What you don't want to be is a team that is rebuilding and winning 78 games, because that usually means I'm playing my veteran guys, I'm not getting a lot of experience. I mean, you look at what the A's did. The A's completely, ruined things over there. Terrible for a few years, and they're getting better. And they've got some young players. Washington, they've got some young players. There are other teams that kind of just stay in that purgatory.
It's not any fun to watch those 60-win teams, but the worst place to be is in between.
Oh, man,
right?
yeah.
It might be more watchable day to day for a short term, but the long-term idea of being stuck in the middle right there is not great. Finally, some of this blossoming with guys like that arriving. 2-1 pitch to Max Muncy is cued foul. Count evens 2-2. Hit it hard his first time, but was caught in right field on a dive by Alex Call.
Gore changing his MO this inning. He's put away 2 guys strikeouts with fastballs. He'd previously done it with the curveball. He's got Max in a 2-strike situation here. See if he stays true to this inning.
Tasker started this inning with a single. He's still at first after the back-to-back strikeouts. Make it 3 in a row for Mackenzie Gore, and 7 total. World champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Shakey's Pizza Parlor. Serving up handcrafted pizza, crispy fried chicken, and famous Mojo potatoes for 70 years. Dustin May back to work. Jose Tena, the 8-hitter, leads off the 4th for the Nats. Strike one on a 47-degree night. Everybody taking turns in front of the heater, warming up their hats, their gloves.
Trying to get the palm of that glove heated up, right?
Quickly 0-2 on Tena. Nationals 3 runs on 4 hits and 3 walks. Also taking advantage of some less than sharp defense. Swing and a miss. He gets him on 3 pitches. First strikeout of the game for May.
Took to the 58th pitch of the game for Dustin to get his first swing and miss. Gets it in a sweeper out of the zone.
Dustin said there were several times the last few years where he started to doubt, wonder if he would ever get back at all. And you figured that was arm related, but the most recent one of those occasions, he pours in a strike on Cruz, was less than a year ago after the esophagus procedure. The first time that he threw coming back, he said, oh no, because he couldn't rotate his body at all. He was pretty much throwing darts, any kind of rotation, agonizing pain where the incision had been, and just everything still healing up inside him from that surgery. Years of fighting that mental battle when it comes to his arm. Man, can I get through this? Am I ever going to make it back? To this freak accident leading to the same questions about if he'd ever be on a major league mound again. Grounded to second. Rojas just in time. Cruz can fly and made that a close play. Close, but no challenge. Just barely out. And by the way, they changed what had initially been ruled a base hit for Cruz in the second to an E6. So it's 2 errors on the Dodgers tonight. And it's 0 for 2 for Cruz. James Wood pokes the first pitch foul. So when we talk about Dustin May, Anthony Bonda Warms saying stuff is similar, but the mindset, headspace, perspective, totally different. You can understand why. Muncy stabs this one. Lone man on the left side of the diamond made the play. A 1-2-3 inning, first one of the game for May. World champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. 3-2 Nationals on to the top of the 5th inning. Joe Davis, Eric Karros, Kirsten Watson. Mackenzie Gore spins in a curve for a strike on Rojas. And speaking of changing perspectives, talking about that with Dustin May, Miguel Rojas says that he enters this season with one that he's never had. He said it hit him on the last day of spring training, walking out to the field, and he has no idea why it happened then, but he had this vision that this could be the last time I ever do this. This could be the last time that I go to spring training. And he's 36 years old, and he says, I hope I play another 5 years. But you see some guys at that age that seem like they should have jobs that justify it with their playing, with the way they play, but just haven't gotten deals. And so he said, for so much of your career, you got tunnel vision. First trying to make the team, improve yourself, and be as good as you can. But he's taken a little step back this year and trying to look at each day with that perspective that, hey, this could be the last time I do this. And trying to maintain that perspective all year. And then hopefully do it again and again and again. But
yeah, you never know.
Gore's payoff. When did it start to hit you? Like, hey,
I was gonna mention it, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, I'm gonna make
But since you asked,
I did.
So I thought I was gonna be done. I was in Chicago. It was August of '03, and so what I started doing is I started bringing a video camera. In games I wasn't playing, I'd have that thing on the bench, and I started chronicling the August and September of that.
Hot shot to short. DeYoung with a pick. What a play by Paul DeYoung. Giving Miguel Rojas some of his own medicine right there. The sparkling defense.
I mean, heck of a play just getting there, but then able to get to his feet and doing a complete 360, picking up the first baseman and making a strong throw. A heck of a play.
One gone in the 5th, and now Taylor. You still have those videos?
Yeah,
do you?
do I? And that was an interesting year because that was '03.
Yeah.
With the Cubs historians, that was a year that the club went and had the fan interference, almost made it to the World Series. But anyhow, yeah, a ton of footage on video discs.
Are those okay? I was going to ask what format they're in these days.
I transferred them to video disc, and I haven't. You know, there are a lot of
that
Chicago
doesn't sound
fans.
that modern either.
No, but they used to be on the high 8. That was crazy, right?
What does one play a video disc on?
I don't even. I've got a video disc player, but so the crazy thing is I don't want to. You know, I've had people that wanted to transfer it and wanted to, do a documentary because I've got stuff that is crazy footage on there, and
stuff you couldn't show.
Yeah, and I just don't trust anybody. It's kind of crazy, right? DVD, yeah.
Is a video disc like a DVD?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Flied into right field call. Long way to go, but he'll get there. Put this on your video disc.
Right here.
So Ohtani's home run back in the 3rd. Burn me a copy.
I could have really thrown you for a loop. I could have said laser disc.
Would have been just as confused. 2 of the Dodgers' 4 hits in this game. Ohtani responsible for it. A single in the 1st inning as well. Gore ahead of him 0-2 this time. high fly ball to center field. Cruz to the track. Cruz at the wall. Can't get it. It ricochets towards the infield. It'll be 3 for Ohtani. He's a double shy of the cycle here in the 5th inning. And anytime Shohei has a chance to do something, he usually doesn't. So stay where you are, folks.
After throwing 2 fastballs to him, he decides to try to trick him a little bit. Throws the slider. Shohei puts it off the top of the wall. 105-mile-an-hour ball. Looked like Cruz almost overjumped that. It looked like it. Like they hit off the middle of his glove, hit it off the palm of the glove. Take a look at where this hits. I don't think that's above. Oh yeah, no, it is above and then hits the palm. Yeah. Little indentation in the wall.
Tying run 90 feet away. Betts at the plate. Ball 1. Three of the 5 hits in this game for LA. From Shohei Ohtani, single in the 1st, homer in the 3rd, triple in the 5th. Ball and a strike. At least one more at bat coming for Shohei. Needed just 20 pitches to get to the first 2 innings. Blink and he's up to 86 here in the 5th. Home to Betts with a 2-1. Downstairs, ball 3. Dodger lineup, when it's at its best, has a tendency to do this. Get pitchers out of games quickly. Count goes full. The Nationals bullpen has not been good. Dodgers looking for another 2-out run. 3-2 from Gore. Betts muscles one on the ground to 3rd. Throw is in time, and that's the inning. Dodgers strand Ohtani in 3rd, halfway home in a 3-2 game. So the defense not sharp in this game. 2 errors committed by the Dodgers. Other plays around that not going to go down in the scorebook officially, but not tidy. Dustin May's given up 4 runs this season. Only 1 of them has been earned. 1 of the 3 today. So he trails 3-2 as he delivers to Alex Call. Bounces it right back to him. He says, I'll handle this myself. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 5th for May.
You know, one of the things, too, that when guys aren't making the plays behind you, obviously it's frustrating for you as a pitcher, but what it also does is now you're pitching out of the stretch possibly, or now you're throwing more pitches in that inning. All these things kind of compound. It's not just that isolated play out there.
Strike on Luis Garcia. It certainly has allowed Dustin May to put his money where his mouth is, talking about being a different guy mentally and ready to handle adversity better. That was one of the things early on in his career where when things didn't go his way and something would happen behind him, it would allow him to, it would force him to kind of spin out of control.
Well, most of the time it's not going to be optimal conditions when you're out there. You know, one of the things that separates guys from playing at this level for a long time is their ability to adapt and to find the positives, to pitch when they don't feel good, to hit when they don't feel good. You know, all these sorts of things, because again, very rarely are things just going your way.
High fly ball to deep right field. Teoscar Hernandez steps onto the track with room. Garcia just misses it. 2 out in the 5th.
Saw Dustin's body language right when he hits his ball. Watch him like, oh, no. Kind of pulling it in, and actually a few feet to spare.
No problem.
That's right.
2 up and 2 down, and now Ruiz. Grounded to second. Diving stop by Rojas from a knee, throws him out and finishes off a 6-pitch inning for May.
Join us April 15th at Dodger Stadium. The first 40,000 fans in attendance receive a Jackie Robinson replica 1955 home jersey celebrating the 70th anniversary of the World Championship presented by UCLA Health. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Tommy Edman, 3, 4, and 5 for LA against Gore here in the 6th. First pitch, pops it up. Ruiz makes the catch. Season high is 95 pitches for Gore. That was his 90th. looking for his first win as well as he's pitched. Even that game where he had 6 scoreless innings and just 1 hit, no runs against the Phillies. Left that game trailing, or left that game no score, and Philly soon took the lead and won it 7-3, and then took the loss in Toronto his last time. Ahead of Teoscar Hernandez, 0-1. When he gets ahead, a different guy. Every pitcher is going to be, but you look at the statistics. When he gets strike one, the OPS for the hitter 300 points lower than when he starts the at-bat with a ball. The problem was last year he got strike one at the 3rd lowest rate in the majors.
Well, he's throwing well tonight. I mean, if there wasn't that Ohtani guy in the lineup, he'd really look good. Show he's got 3 hits. Really, the other 2 hits, basically balls that weren't squared up. CT and this man right here, Teoscar, shattered his bat.
Former Dodger great Eduardo Salazar is ready. Two from Gordo Hernandez. A ground ball to short. DeYoung has played some sharp defense over there tonight. 2 out. And a word from Carl's Jr.
Get a one-time free triple burger when you download the app and join My Rewards.
Seven Ks in this game for Gore, including 2 on Will Smith. Came into the game with as many walks as he had strikeouts on the year.
First at bat, he got Will with the curveball. Second time around, put him away with the fastball.
Gore kicks and fires. Smith takes a generous outside corner strike. 2-1. Nobody throwing in the Dodger bullpen. Looks like Dustin May is going to be out there for a 6th inning of work. Count goes to 3-1 on Smith, with Kike Hernandez due next. 100th pitch coming from Gore. Fly to right center. Call. 1-2-3-6 for Gore. World champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, celebrating 20 years of good times. Same thing here at Nationals Park. A couple decades here. Dustin May spins the first one outside to Nathaniel Lowe. Nationals up 3-2. Bottom of the 6th. Looks like the day's probably finished for Gore. Right at 100 pitches. And he's left with the lead. Thanks to a couple unearned runs. And Dustin May has really been solid again. He's retired the last 8 that he's faced. He's at just 72 pitches still. And he's ahead 1-2.
Well, you mentioned the pitch count, 73 now, but if that defense would have been more efficient, he'd be better off. He'd be in the low 60s.
Joins Yamamoto as the only Dodger starters to go into the 6th this year. The Dodgers are dead last, averaging just 4 innings per start. We talk about the bullpen leading the majors in innings pitched. Well, that's because the starters are only averaging 4 innings.
You know, one of the other things too with this starting staff that has kind of gone unnoticed, they've got 39 walks and they've got the highest walk per 9 innings of any starting staff in all of baseball. And that's just, again, you can mask it, as you mentioned earlier, with some of the offense or the bullpen, but it's going to come back to bite you.
Just misses catching the corner. Full count. Yesterday was an example of that. 11 walks issued against the Phillies. 5 of them came into score when you lose by a run. Payoff to Lowe. Bouncing ball along first. Hernandez charges and takes it himself.
Kiki's done a really nice job over there at first base, filling in for Freddie. Made some nice plays in Philadelphia. There are a lot of nuances over there that, you know, if you haven't spent your career playing over there, you just, you know, you get thrown over there and you can get into some awkward situations, but he's really done a nice job.
Bell, first baseman. What would you say would be the hardest thing for somebody coming over playing your position of first base?
Receiving the ball from the infield and staying out of harm's way, because a lot of times you're trying to stay on the bag and, you know, you're not always trying to, you got to catch the ball first. You can make a tag, you can, you know, kind of, again, you don't always have to hold the bag. And if you haven't been over there, I mean, you see guys, you watch Luis Arias plays first base for the Padres. That guy's still putting his foot on the top of the bag.
Rojas. 2 out. So you mean not even, because when you first said that, I was thinking throws up the line that pull you into
well,
the
that's
runner.
what I'm saying.
Period.
Yeah,
though.
any of that stuff. Yeah. You know, it's just how to position yourself. And again, you can get away with it. You know, oh, let's put that guy over there at first base, and you throw him over there for 3 games, and he doesn't get exposed. But that's also, I mean, you can get hurt over there real easy. Ask Max Muncy.
Career-altering play for him.
Yep.
DeYoung with 2 gone is going after the first pitch. Shannon had foul. He's 1 for 2 today. Singleton scored in the second. Nats got 2 in the second. They got 1 in the third. Dodgers 2 runs coming on an Ohtani home run in the third. Oh, 1 from May. Woo, look out. Slipped out of his hand. It's another 1-1 pitch. DeYoung. Same thing.
God, do you see the movement on that? So he just thrown, or tried to throw, you know, those 2 sweepers, and you know, that ball is breaking away from the righty, and then he throws this sinker, and just look at that thing. That's just running right in your back knee as a right-handed hitter.
Will Smith got clipped by the backswing a little bit. 2-2 on DeYoung. Dustin May kicks and fires. It just misses low. It's the same easy delivery in 94, but moving a mile. It's been the message to him. You don't have to power it in there. It moves naturally the way you throw it. His payoff is popped straight up. Who wants it? Kike Hernandez. 11 straight retired by Dustin May. T-Mobile Coverage Cam welcomes us back here to D.C. Dodgers down 3-2. It's been all Ohtani for LA. 2-run home run accounting for the scoring, and he, at 3 for 3, is a double shy of the cycle. 5 hitters away as we get ready to begin the 7th. Kike Hernandez, Max Muncy, Miguel Rojas due up. Ohtani 3 for 3. Rest of the team 2 out of 19 against Mackenzie Gore. But that ship has sailed. It's on to the Nationals bullpen. And Eduardo Salazar joked that this is former Dodger great. He is a former Dodger. 1 game for the Dodgers in San Francisco last year in May. He was waived. Seattle picked him up 1 month later. They placed him on waivers. The Nationals got him, and he's settled in here. He's got a 2.78 ERA in his time with the Nats. And it's a bullpen that would like some guys to step forward.
Sinker slider guy will also throw the 4-seam.
2-0 on Kike Hernandez.
You just mentioned, Joe, the offense has really been all Ohtani tonight. Dodgers really haven't even squared up many baseballs.
DeYoung's been busy. 1 out in the 7th. He had the big offensive day yesterday, EK, with the 7 runs, but relatively quiet offensively otherwise lately.
But even with those 7 runs, I mean, that was the Teo show, right? I mean, he drove in 5 of them, and Mookie had that big hit, multiple hits. And again, the offense just hadn't collectively been on cue yet.
Well, you haven't had Freddie. Betts out for a few games.
Right.
Kike Hernandez really struggling. Max Muncy really struggling. Andy Pages really struggling.
Yeah, I mean, and again, when you're talking about struggling, this is a guy that I think there's going to be a big difference in as far as, you know, where he is now and where he's going to be later on. Remember, this is a guy that's hit 35+ home runs 4 different times in his Dodger career.
.190 total. 13 more in the postseason. 1-2 comes home. Muncy takes it in the dirt and the count evens up. Only 80 to go, big guy. 199 from Duke Snider for the all-time Dodger record. On 2-2, Muncy swings and misses. Up at the knuckles with that pitch. 2 out.
Just threw that slider, kind of spun up out of the zone, but again, the struggles for Max just continue. He had that big 3-hit day the other evening.
Rojas to DeYoung. And in the blink of an eye, Salazar's got a 1-2-3-7.
Celebrate our teachers April 12th at Dodger Stadium. Purchase a special ticket pack for an exclusive Teacher Appreciation Night crew neck sweater. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
How about Dustin May? Goes 6 innings, retires the final 11 that he faces, and just 1 earned run. That's now 11 innings and 1 earned run against him, EK.
Yeah, another real efficient evening.
Amed Rosario pinch hits here and greets Anthony Banda with a base hit to left field. Another former Dodger doing something to him tonight. So Anthony Banda, 5 games. He's got 3 wins in those 5 games to lead the majors. And this base hit here for Rosario, that's only the 3rd base runner against him.
Yeah, Rosario didn't waste any time, though, attacking that first pitch.
Now the 9-hitter, Dylan Cruz. Rosario runs first pitch. Throw from Smith is off the glove of Rojas.
Certainly not the glove that we are used to seeing. Does a nice job of short hopping that ball, but again unable to corral it. And at the same time, though, Rosario is sliding in while Miggy's trying to short hop it. Really a difficult play there.
Whole lot happening in the bases tonight. Nats have stolen 3, but they've also made 2 outs at third base. One ball, 1 strike on Cruz. Banda fires. Poke to right field. Teoscar coming on to make the catch. And no advancement from Rosario. Back to the top in James Wood. Hitting leadoff for the first time in his young major league career today. He's gone 0 for 2. They expect C.J. Abrams to be back tomorrow. He'll be back in the leadoff spot, you would assume, where he usually is. Lefty, lefty, Banda to Wood. Spinner's low. James Wood, just 22 years of age. Not just a big-time prospect, but has the added element of being a local guy. That he grew up about 20 miles from here in Olney, Maryland. So the fan base can latch on to that too. Very shy guy though, soft-spoken. Not going to step right forward and say, hey, I'm the face of the franchise. They would love him to be that, though. Hits it hard, runs fast. Super patient, to the point where that patience sometimes becomes like passive and takes a lot of strikes. Swings here, fouls it into the glove, strike 2.
Tough to be passive when you're 6'6", 230, right? You know, anytime I think of somebody like that, go back to the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas, just intimidating.
Launches this fly ball to deep center field, back to the wall. It is gone. James Wood, his second home run. First runs allowed by Banda.
He gets a slider and just stays out over the plate. Big man able to extend. Great power the other way.
And I'll strike on Alex Call. And that's where he tends to hit him. The one quote unquote flaw is that he doesn't pull fly balls, but they're saying we're not going to mess with him right now. His natural stroke takes it the other way. 9 of his 11 home runs have been to the left of center.
And as a young hitter and as a hitter, that's what you want to be able to do. You'll learn how to pull the ball. But again, 22, you want to be able to, you want to be a hitter first. You can learn the power, you can learn how to hit home runs. You know, very rarely do you see a home run hitter learn how to hit. It just doesn't go that way.
A lot of times it's, oh, this guy's so pull conscious, always trying to lift and separate. Use the whole field, man. Well, that's how he comes at you already, using the whole field. 1-2 from Banda to Call. Upstairs. One of 3 active hitters as big as he is. You got O'Neill Cruz of the Pirates, and then of course Aaron Judge. Big, imposing power. Star high school basketball player, not surprising, and could have gone that route, but he says baseball's always been more fun to him. So it was never a question to him. Even though basketball's kind of the family sport. He's the son of a former European pro. His dad, Kenny, was a big-time basketball player at the University of Richmond, not too far from here. He's in the university's Hall of Fame and then went to play overseas. And his older sister was team captain at Northwestern. Another payoff pitch from Banda. Shot to right center field. That is splitting the gap. Called into second with a double.
Four-seamer out over the plate. Call stays with it. Both balls this inning that have been driven. Right-handed hitter goes the other way to right center. Left-handed hitter goes to left center in the seats.
First time Anthony Banda's had issues this year. Nationals get a couple against him, and a runner at second, his responsibility too. World champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Ford dealers. Check out the full lineup of stylish, powerful trucks and SUVs. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Nationals have opened up a 5-2 lead. The bottom of the 7th inning, and a Dodger debut coming here from Matt Sauer out of San Luis Obispo, who grew up a Dodger fan and now gets to make his Dodger debut. Faces Luis Garcia with a runner at second and one out. Sauer's first pitch in the dirt for ball one.
Four-seamer, sweeper, little curve, sinker as well. He was a second-round pick by the Yankees. It was 2017.
Came up through their system as a starter. Got his first chance in the big leagues last year with Kansas City. And now in his first year in the Dodger system, he was on the trip to Tokyo and pitched in the exhibition. Didn't pitch, though, the 2 regular season games, and so opened the season in Oklahoma City, but got the call today. 2-0 in there for a strike. Nationals bullpen stirring. Lucas Sims. Sauer trying to keep him within striking distance. Vulnerable Nationals bullpen their offense is working against. Up the middle and a base hit to center. Edman gloves it. Here comes Call, who's got good speed. Throw to the plate is in there. He's out. Tommy Edman, in his first game in center this year, guns down a speedy runner in Call. Every game he does something.
Definition of baseball player, you're looking at him right here. Does a great job of charging the ball, a quick transfer, and then the throw all the way in the air. A perfect strike to Will Smith. Able to catch it, lay the tag down easily. I mean, just seamless no matter where you put him.
Third out on the bases made by the Nationals today. Up to Ruiz with 2 out. Strike 1 from Sauer. Hope at the end of this one you're having the same conversations we were having Friday night, which is the Phillies are too good to make that many outs on the bases. Dodgers trying to prove to be too good to have that many outs on the bases against them.
Well, and you talk about where those outs are made. 2 at third base and 1 at home. In case you wanted to think about putting Tommy Edman on the mound, that throw 92 miles an hour from center.
It'd be the least shocking thing ever if he was good at it. Ruiz down the line, a fair ball, and they'll cash in nonetheless. Ruiz doubles home Garcia, 6-2.
Tried to run that changeup away from Ruiz and just kind of stayed on the inner part of the plate.
So 14 runs the last 2 games allowed by the Dodgers. 2 outs for Lowe. Sky high left side of the diamond. Muncy or Betts. It'll be Max Muncy. So to the 8th inning we go. Ohtani's due up second, a double shy of the cycle.
Friday on the next Backstage Dodgers, the team heads to Tokyo to open the 2025 season. Blake Snell, Tanner Scott, and Anthony Banda get a taste of Japanese lifestyle, and Clayton Kershaw gets a lesson in sumo wrestling. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers Friday after the postgame show.
Dodgers down 4 as we go to the 8th inning. A pinch hitter is going to open up this inning instead of Chris Taylor. Michael Conforto will hit. For the right-handed pitcher now on the mound, and Lucas Sims, the longtime Cincinnati Red, over here to the Nationals. And 3 runs allowed his first 4 innings with the team. Conforto, second only to Will Smith in OPS so far, above 1,000 in his first year at LA. Conforto and then Ohtani. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers have not had a cycle in 8 years since Cody Bellinger did it in Miami 2017. Ohtani has 1 cycle in his career. 2019, he became the first Japanese-born player to record 1. Few and far between in Dodger history, though. High strike, 2-2.
I would have thought Ichiro would have done it. I mean, just, with the speed and the triples, and, he did have the power when he wanted it. Guy was a hit machine.
On a 2-2 from Sims. Michael Conforto fouls it off. Nationals 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 big runs in the 7th against the Pen. Dodgers 2 runs came in the third. 12 of the last 13 have been retired, though. Another 2-2, and the count is full. Conforto pinch hitting to start the 8th and taking the walk. So the table's set for Shohei. Single in the first inning, home run in the 3rd inning, triple in the 5th. What does he have in store here in the 8th? Not a big crowd today, but plenty of Dodger fans in attendance, and every fan that is here knows what's at stake here. Chance at history. Swings and misses. He said it when he got his triple. More often than not, when he has a chance to do something special, he'll do it. That's assuming he gets a pitch to hit. Sometimes the bat's taken out of his hand. Tries to lay off and does. It was one of the things that made the 50-50 game so intriguing as it went on. Would Skip Schumacher pitch to him? And there's that shot of Schumacher saying, to heck with it. We're going after him. Soon after, he hit his 50th. Looking for something else. 2-2. Ohtani takes ball 3 on a wild pitch. Conforto into scoring position.
I mean, I get you don't want to give up hits, but you've got a 4-run lead, and with Conforto, you threw a 3-2 cutter. And even if Shohei hits it off the scoreboard, I mean, it's a 2-run game.
Here's the payoff. Ohtani takes strike 3.
Last 2 pitches, Shohei just guessing wrong. Took that fastball right down the middle, and that was kind of spun at the top part of the zone.
One away for Betts. Took a fastball low. A couple ground outs for Mookie today. Does have a walk. Dodgers needing some late offense to avoid the 3rd loss in the 4 games on this road trip. After the 8-0 start, That's into center field, a base hit. Conforto heads for the plate, and they chip away. RBI single. Mookie Betts makes it 6-3.
Gets a four-seam fastball. Smokes that ball up the middle. Actually wasn't hit all that hard, but just had line drive trajectory. 86 miles an hour off the bat, but an RBI.
That time of year and that kind of night where he's trying to lead the league in singles.
Yeah.
Line drives all over the place. Just have it not hurt your hands. Tommy Edman 0 for 3 at the plate. Saved a run though with an outfield assist. Tommy didn't play the outfield until a few years ago. Lifetime infielder. Started to sprinkle it in as he got to the major leagues. This is a Gold Glove second baseman a few years back who's added outfield to his resume. Runner at first, one away, 3-run game in the 8th, and a curve for a strike on Edman. Most of his time last year came in center, just the way the Dodgers were constructed at that point. Although everyday shortstop in the postseason once Rojas got hurt. Hooks this ball into right field and a base hit for him. Tying run coming to the plate.
Gets a curveball, leaves it up. Bring in our RBI guy right now, Teo, up at the plate.
Second in the National League, only to Kyle Tucker of the Cubs in that category. Coming off a 5 RBI day yesterday. Bullpen just getting going. That's their closer, Kyle Finnegan. Really the one sure thing in the Nationals bullpen. Nats looking for their 3rd consecutive win after the 1-6 start. How soon will they go to Finnegan?
Please be ready. Please be ready down there. Oh, yeah, he's ready.
They'll go as soon as they can. And here comes Davey Martinez. He's in his 8th year as the skipper. Taking over for Dusty Baker. He will go to his closer for Teoscar Hernandez. The Dodgers really just roll over. Yeah, they're at it again. The Dodgers trying to come back from down 4. They've got a run in the bank here in the 8th. They've got 2 on and now face Kyle Finnegan, who's 3rd in the majors last year in saves, which is saying something for a team that finished near the bottom of the standings. 38 saves a season ago, and like we said, this is the one real deal down in that bullpen that they love right now.
He's a real deal, but he's going to be asked to go for a third straight game. Closed out 2 of the Diamondbacks. 2 innings in the combined outings, 1 hit, 1 run. Again, this early in the year to use him 3 days in a row, that just...
You figure this would be to get out of this jam with the game on the line right here and then have somebody else in the ninth. Are you really going to ask him for 5 outs on the third day?
The fact that you're even asking him for the third day. I mean, we just left Philadelphia and Alvarado had thrown 2 days and he had the first 2 games off against us. I don't know. I just feel like 3 days in a row at this juncture of the season.
Dodgers trying to make him pay. That's his favorite pitch right there, the splitter. Seeing more and more guys throw that pitch. Favorite non-fastball, I should say. Does throw his fastball more than anything. Edman at second, or Edman at first, Betts at second. The 1-0 to Teoscar Hernandez. Another splitter and another ball. "13 runs batted in this year for Hernandez. At his best. 2-1.
Certainly pulled the string right there. Teoscar way out in front of that pitch. That splitter there again, as you mentioned, Joe.
On a 2-1 pitch. A look at second. It's probably an underpublicized part of this Dodger team so far at 9-2. We've talked about some of the imperfections with the defense, the walks from the pitching staff, but the fight, not necessarily something you associate with a reigning champion. 2-1. Ball 3. When you think fight, you think teams that are around 500 trying to claw their way into contention. You don't necessarily think a team that's known as the Evil Empire on the outside.
I think they believe that they're going to come back. They believe they're in any game.
Hernandez shoots a line drive to right field, right at Alex Call. Betts will take third. 2 out.
Teoscar does a nice job. Hits that ball at 103 miles an hour. 4-seam fastball. Smokes that thing.
Up to Will Smith. We were mentioning this earlier, but 5 out of 7 with men in scoring position this year. Two on, 2 out. Tie and run at the plate in the 8th inning. Finnegan to Smith. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Fastball with teeth.
See the run on that thing. Staying up in the zone and just bearing in on Will.
The 1-1 lays off, ball 2. Kike Hernandez on deck. Singles from Betts and Edman. They're at the corners. On 2-1, Smith couldn't lay off, and the count evens 2-2. Dodgers have broken through here in the 8th inning against the Nationals bullpen. Their first run since Ohtani's home run in the 3rd. Deuce is wild in the 8th. The 2-2 from Kyle Finnegan. Off the end of the bat into center and down. down. Blue base hit for Will Smith to bring home bats, and it's 6-4. He's been one of the best hitters in baseball, period, but especially with 2 strikes this year. Just can't kill him.
Well, he doesn't give away at-bats, and he adjusts his swing depending on the situation, depending on the count. All he's trying to do there is put the bat on the ball. Fortunate enough to find some space out in center field.
Tying run aboard. Go ahead run at the plate. Hernandez. Strike 1. Three for 32 on the year.
We get one player to reach. Guess who we get to see again?
That'd be Ohtani. The 1-1. Perfect pitch. Strike 2.
Go back to Will Smith. He's now 8 for 19 with 2 strikes this season. 421 clip. Just as you mentioned, Joey. It gets better when the situation gets more dire.
League average way below 200 with 2 strikes. 1-2 coming from Finnegan to Kike Hernandez. Got him with a fastball. Dodgers get 2. Cut the lead in half. When we finish, back in LA in the post-game show, Access Sportsnet Dodgers. John and Jerry and Adrian. So he got himself a nice pen. Can see it. Conforto, after pinch hitting, stays in, plays left field. Matt Sauer will remain in the game to pitch. Nationals have Bell, DeYoung, and Tena coming up here for the Dodgers. Muncy, Rojas, Conforto, and if one of those guys reaches, you said it, Ohtani. Strike 1 on Bell. Cold here, mid-40s. See, it was so cold in Detroit today, they moved the game times for the series.
Saw that.
And then played in the snow. Supposed to play 3 7 o'clock games against the Yanks. They moved them all to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the wind chill is so cold.
I mean, give me the hottest of hot. I'd much rather be playing baseball in that than cold weather. Baseball is not made for cold weather.
Bell scorches a base hit into center. So 3 of the 4 that Sauer has faced have gotten hits. Paul DeJong, a couple fabulous plays at short today. He's also singled and scored. Paul, if he wasn't playing baseball, there's a good chance he would be a doctor. Got his biochemistry degree. He was going to go to med school if he hadn't gotten drafted as high as he did by the Cardinals years back. Grew up in that world. His grandma is a renowned chemist and an uncle who's a doctor. And as long and challenging as that path is, the medical school path, I'm sure there's some times the last few years for Paul where he was wondering, what if? Med school doesn't sound that hard. Sauer finds the corner and gets ahead 1-2. Born in Florida, grew up in Illinois. They went to Illinois State. Sauer's 2-2.
All right, set him up now. He got that cutter coming. Get a ground ball, 2 outs.
Good strikeout candidate too. 30 plate appearances, 15 strikeouts this year. Fouls off a few. Dodgers 9-2, but in second place. And it's not the Diamondbacks. It's not the Padres. It's the 8-1 San Francisco Giants. Open up a series with the Reds tonight. On the ground to short, could be 2. There's 1, and there's that double play you were calling for. 6-4-3, 2 gone. Giants have won 9 of their first 10 only 1 time since moving to San Francisco. That was in 2003. And they'll try to do so tonight. Logan Webb takes the ball against LA native Hunter Green.
Yeah, they've been doing it. They've been swinging the bats well, some walk-off wins. You know, there was something the other day that I saw. Wilmer Flores, been there forever, has had a walk-off hit. He's got the second most walk-off hits of any current player in baseball.
Hit a bunch in New York.
Well, you know, number 1. I mean, Bryce Harper is 1, Wilmer Flores 2.
Wow.
Like I mean, I would never have guessed that.
0-2 on Rosario.
But yeah, you're right. New York, and you remember, yep.
Their new guy, Willie Adames, has a walk-off hit.
Yep.
Padres, good start as well. They're 8-2. They're in Sacramento tonight. Playing the A's. Diamondbacks host the Orioles. Diamondbacks just dropped 2 of 3 here, and they're 5-5.
I think when all is said and done, that's a team that's going to give the Dodgers the most trouble in this division. Yeah. I mean, I think they're so complete. The pitching is good.
Fly to left center field. Tommy Edman on the run, gets there and sends this game to the 9th inning. Fasten those seatbelts. Muncy, Rojas, Conforto, Ohtani. Dave Martinez going with his best defensive outfield here. Jacob Young, who graded out as the best defender in baseball last year, now in center. Cruz goes from center to right. Call goes from right to left. So here we go, 9th inning. Kyle Finnegan is going to stay in the game. Max Muncy will lead things off. Rojas is due next, but Hunter Fiducia has stepped into the on-deck circle. Strike one on Muncy.
Just looking for one of these guys to get down to first base so we can get Shohei up to the plate one more time.
For the game and for the cycle. Driven to left center field. Young on the run. Running out of room and watching this ball nail the wall. And Max Muncy starts the 9th inning with a double. Just like that, they get the tying run to the plate.
It's a four-seamer and just continues to run away, stays up in the zone. Max does a nice job of driving the ball the other way. Then we talked about it last inning. This is Finnegan's 3rd straight appearance. 3 days, 3 outings. This is his 2nd inning so far.
Asking a lot early on. Fiducia will pinch hit. His season debut. 4 for 12 in his major league debut last year. 1 RBI. He's tearing it up in Oklahoma City over the first week. A home run, had a double. Represents the tying run here. Pinch hitting for Miguel Rojas. Fiducia takes low. Ball 2. Trailed this game 6-2. Got a couple last inning. On this 2-0. Fiducia pokes it foul. 2-1. Just a little more on Finnegan, what they're asking him to do here. 3 days in a row looking for a 5-out save, which he's not gotten in 3 years.
Oh, and it's 40 degrees too. I mean, I don't understand it. I really don't. I mean, I get it. You might not have somebody else down there, but you messing around with the health of the guy. I mean, 3 in a row. 26 pitches the other day.
21st coming here. 2-2. Fiducia smacks a ground ball to second. Garcia gets there and throws him out. Muncy to third, 1 away in the 9th.
Nice play by Garcia. Does a good job of ranging over there and then quick to his feet.
So it's Conforto. Off of the bench, walked and scored last inning. What a first impression he's made. Fastball to the knees. On base percentage above 400 with power. 6 of his 8 hits have gone for extra bases. On the 0-1 from Finnegan, he takes a fastball for strike 2. Another fastball to strike him out. And so it comes down to this. Day that began with Shohei Ohtani going in the Oval Office comes down to him at the plate, a double shy of the cycle, representing the tying run with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
I don't want a cycle. I want another home run.
Hit one in the 3rd. Watches a splitter for ball 1. Single in the 1st, homer in the 3rd, triple in the 5th. 8 years since the last Dodger cycle. 2-0. Betts is on deck. A 2-0 pitch coming to Shohei Ohtani. Takes it calmly. Ball 3.
And this pitch can't be anywhere near the zone.
Guy with a sixth sense for the moment at the plate. Wow.
What the heck?
Dodgers down to their last out. Ohtani on 3-1. Takes strike 2.
Went splitter, splitter.
Splitter, 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 splitter. They're going to get a sixth?
I mean, you have to, right? Can't try and trick him.
Ball 4. Stuck with a splitter. Tying run aboard. Mookie Betts coming up. Different situation than the other day where it made no sense at all for Ohtani to think about stealing. Here, perhaps worth it. Ribalta warms.
I still feel like it's got to be the same situation. You got to be 100% because you got Mookie at the plate, and you know, we're talking about top 3, 4 hitters in baseball. Mookie hits something in the gap. Shohei is going to score anyhow.
For whatever it's worth, Finnegan not good at controlling the running game. Not many closers are. Last year, 8 steal attempts, all successful. Last 2 years, 23 out of 24. But,
well, and if he runs, though, do you take the bat out of Mookie's hand?
Perhaps. Tommy Edman on deck. Tying run on. Go ahead run up. 2 out in the 9th. Finnegan to Betts. Ball 1.
Would you believe another splitter?
7 in a row. And would you believe 31 pitches on a 3rd straight day? Quite a list of the best hitters the last half century in these situations. The 1-0 pitch. Grounder to second for Garcia. Takes his time, throws him out, and ends the game. Dodgers fall a little bit short. Kyle Finnegan digs deep. A 5-out save and a 6-4 win for the Nationals.
It came up on the short end, but if you want to look at something positive tonight, you've got to look at the start by Dustin May. 6 innings, only 1 strikeout, but real efficient. A lot of ground balls. Defense didn't help him a lot. Could have even been better, but the fact 6 innings threw well.
Dodgers, though, just 1-3 on this road trip. They'll try to tie the series up at a game apiece tomorrow. For Eric Karros, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from D.C. Access Sportsnet Dodgers is next. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night.